Good. Really good first day. Our guys are eager, energetic, focused. It's a wonderful group, and I'm really excited to coach them, and we're all really excited for what's ahead.
How about the intensity out there as far as you guys running a scrimmage basically?
Well, we got to play Monday, so you can't mess around. This is 6 weeks. Got to get right to it. And so we had a good practice where we went through some concepts. And I think the biggest thing for these guys and for us as a staff is you got to respect the FIBA game. It's not the NBA, it's FIBA. Totally different game. So our focus this first week especially is learning the FIBA rules, making sure that by the time the competition starts, those rules are instinctive for us and we're not reacting to them.
6 weeks is longer than the 19 and 2019. Is that enough time to put in some stuff and be maybe a little bit more complex than what we've seen?
No. Complex is not a word that we're going to use in USA basketball very often, just due to the nature of the whole thing. 6 weeks, and part of my coaching experience with USA basketball and the help of so many of these guys, Chip England, Jeff Van Gundy, Sean Ford, the guys who were here in 19 and 21. We got to carry forward the experience that we had, and good and bad, and understand how we can make things more efficient and understand the timeline and how quickly this thing starts. So simpler is better.
What is some of the stuff you learned from that, Steve?
I think the learning the FIBA rules. One of the rules, for example, the ball is taken out of bounds underneath all the time in FIBA, whereas in the NBA it's on the sideline. So statistically, you run 8 baseline out of bounds plays a game in FIBA, 2.5 in the NBA. So you better execute better offensively, you better execute defensively on those specific 8 plays every game. We almost lost. We did lose in the preliminary game to France 2 years ago when they scored, I think, on 3 out-of-bounds plays in the second half. So, you plant that in your brain and you work a little harder on those 2 things.
So was everybody ready to go? Everybody as you would want them to be?
Yeah. You always worry a little bit about that because first day of camp, it's going to be intense. Everybody's going to be anxious and. So how tired are they going to be? Can they scrimmage? Everybody came in really good shape and in a great way.
You mentioned Jeff a minute ago. Just to have him around, I know he's worked a lot with Jim Boylan at the Selects, obviously he's around Comp a lot. To have him here, what's that? Have guys, not just him, other guys, what's that add?
Yeah, Jeff's a brilliant basketball mind. He's been coaching for so long and obviously announcing and had his finger on the pulse of everything that's happening in the NBA and FIBA because he was coaching the qualifying teams. And then our familiarity with one another from 19 and 21 was really key. So it's a huge help to me and to the whole staff. And then the final part, which is maybe the most important part, is he's hilarious. So you really need a sense of humor with the coaching staff when you're together for 6 straight weeks. So we love Jeff.
Can we ask an NBA question?
Yeah.
Talk of NBA to Vegas. What are your thoughts generally on that at some point? When expansion comes down the road?
It feels right. And obviously it's not my department, but Vegas and Seattle seem to be such smart franchises. It's a shame that we ever lost the Sonics in the first place. But as you look forward and you think of what we need a couple of Western time slots to think about all the double headers on TV you have where the second game is starting at 8:40 Central Time. We lost a couple of West Coast time slots back when Seattle and Vancouver left the league. It hurt the TV schedule, which hurt the whole league schedule. So you factor in for Vegas the time slot, but also just how great of a venue this has been for Summer League, USA basketball. The fans here have proven they'll come out. They love the Aces. The Knights just won the Stanley Cup. Raiders are filling it up every Sunday. So this seems like a really good next choice.
You got a Final Four for a tournament. here this year too. It was in T-Mobile.
Is that
Arena.
right?
The tournament, yeah, the Final Four for that
NCAA
in-season
Final Four?
tournament. No, the in-season NBA tournament.
I forgot about that.
Remember that? You got that tournament.
Very important.
That's first times.
Yes,
first time,
yes,
so that's
yes,
understandable.
yes, yes.
But that's here in Vegas.
That's here
T-Mobile
too.
Arena.
That's here
Yeah.
too. You got a lot of stuff going on. It's great.
Steve, when you look at 2019 and you reflect on that, where do you think you guys fell short maybe as a program? Why didn't you have the result that you wanted? What do you take away from that experience for these guys?
Well, I think the experience matters, and I think you take what you learn from that in terms of how to handle your practice sessions, maybe what kind of lineup combinations you're going to play, maybe what you run. But you also walk away with great respect for the FIBA teams. These are great teams. This is not, 1954 or whatever, where the American team just steamrolled everything. Like it's an international game. So when you look at the NBA and 3 of the top 4 or 5 players in the league are international players, it translates. Their international teams are really good too. So our focus is we respect the FIBA game. We respect the hell out of our opponents because they're damn good. We're going to do everything we can to win and let the chips fall where they may.
Now, who takes over as
Samo, yeah, definitely not me. We're gonna have to do some research. That's one area where we may not be.
You are deficient in that area.
Yes.
How some of the things you've learned in terms of balancing out lineups and figuring out how you're going to play over the next few weeks, do you figure out who you're going to start, the rotation will be? So what are the things you're going to look for to figure that out, and how has the experience you've had the last few years sort of informed the way you're going to want to play and the way you're going to kind of look to play your guys?
Yeah, it tends to shake out over the first week or two. As a coaching staff, we're watching the tape every day. We're seeing different combinations, and then we're thinking about substitution patterns from there. So it tends to play out, but it's not easy because usually you're talking about 12 starters in the NBA. And I think that's the case here. Maybe Bobby Portis is a 6-man. Maybe Walker came off the bench a little bit for Utah, but I think he started. For the most part, these guys are all starters and great players. And part of the FIBA commitment is none of that stuff matters in FIBA. There's no contracts on the line. Nobody's getting traded. This is just us for 6 weeks, and I expect the same thing to happen here as what happened. In 21, and in 19, frankly, in terms of the buy-in and the effort and the energy and the intensity, and we'll see what happens.
Along with that, what did we see today? How did you split up the teams?
With evenly so we split the bigs up. We didn't want Jaren and Walker on the same team, so each one played a 5 on their respective teams. We split up Tyrese and Jalen because we wanted them each to run a team, and then we just split the wings down the middle. So there was zero thought in terms of starters, but I appreciate the way you snuck that in there and tried to get me to bite.
What is, I know it's day one, but what do you see for Ben Kerr?
And he is skilled and he is raw, but in a good way. He's really open to coaching and can play multiple positions and put the ball on the floor. Really an intriguing young player and just a great young guy.
Do you see that as almost kind of a clue that you got him? He had committed almost probably to
We were thrilled with every guy who committed. This is a 6-week commitment, out of these guys' off season, which is no small thing. Like you're talking about sacrifice for the family and for the player, and so every one of these guys, there's a reason they're all here. They're talented and they want to be here, and this experience is going to be really meaningful.
I got a last local question for you. As far as Las Vegas, you being a California guy and college of Arizona, everything else, West Coast guy, do you ever think that Las Vegas is kind of a sports mecca? With all the stuff that we have going on.
Yeah, not when I was in college. I remember coming in here to play UNLV, maybe 87 or so. And that was the only show in town. It was the Running Rebels. And now you come in here and you see what's happening with the Raiders and the Knights and the Aces and Summer League and
The A's?
USA. And, I hope not. I'm going to be honest. I'm
from Oakland. I get it, man. I get it.
Yeah. But no, this is Vegas is it's a big time sports city now for sure.
Hey, Coach, from a culture
But with that said, I want you to stay in Oakland, A's. All right.
From a culture standpoint, Coach K used to talk a lot about duty and honor and those kinds of things. I know with the Warriors, it's strength in numbers, it's joy. What do you want your version of USA basketball to kind of be known for? I guess from a culture standpoint.
Well, I think we all want our guys to represent our country with class, represent the NBA, represent each other. We want people to be proud of us and the effort. Obviously, we want to win. But the biggest thing is, 6 weeks, you make the commitment, you play together, you play as hard as you can, and you do it with dignity, you represent yourself well, and then it's competition. This is why we do it. We either win or we lose, but the other things you can control, winning and losing, sometimes it's up to the ball going in or not, but we're very confident.
You've mentioned commitment